There's no doubt that the growing trend of fintech companies and the growth of fintech as a whole has helped Nutmeg and people like us to grow very, very quickly. So when people say, what are the traits that have allowed us to grow really quickly? I look back and I think certainly the environment, the regulatory environment, which has been really helpful to us, the government, which has been behind fintech, and of course venture capital and private equity, people putting money into the fintech space. So there's lots of external factors which have helped us, and then of course internally, it's the ability to attract great people onto the team, and the willingness of consumers to try something new and to vote with their feet for a service that offers transparency and low cost. It's been fantastic that we have been able to attract the investment funding, but not just the amount that we've attracted, but who we've attracted it from. And when we consider the fact that people like Tim Draper, Daniel Agita, and of course venture capital firms like FinTech and Balderton, and institutions like Schroders have taken part in the Nutmeg funding, it's a real advantage when we think about hiring staff and getting behind it. But I would say that Nutmeg still has a long way to go to prove its worth. We have attracted this capital, but we're not yet a big company. We're not yet a company that can rest on its laurels or indulge in political infighting or slowing down with corporate mush. We've got to go out there, we've got to execute, we've got to do things, and we've got to prove to our backers that we can become a profitable company, and hopefully, as well as making our customers some money, also make our investors some money. We're really excited to be bringing our new Chief Revenue Officer, Martin Stead, on. Obviously he's come from a business, EDF Energy, that plays in a sector which isn't always the most exciting for a consumer, and we're hoping that he can do with Nutmeg what he's done to EDF, make that the leading brand in that sector. But the point is there, how can you attract people into a sector which isn't perhaps as sexy or as exciting as some of the others out there? Financial services hasn't got the best reputation at the moment, but I think most people see that as a challenge. Most people see that as an opportunity. There is an absolute willingness by everybody that comes to work at Nutmeg to restore trust in this industry, to provide a service which is so wonderful and easy to use, a product that's so beautiful and so useful, and also so compelling from a value proposition for customers, that we can do our bit to restore trust to this industry. So we've got some really proud people here, and I think when we talk about hiring, we look for people that can share those values and can be really proud of what they do. We do like to ruffle a few feathers, especially of the incumbent players in the industry. When you consider the challenge that faces this country and the population of this country, I mean, it's no word of a lie to suggest that people under 50 probably won't be receiving a state pension. So the challenge is vast, and we and other players in our industry have to solve it. It's not going to come just from thin air. So we will ruffle feathers if that's what it takes to deliver great customer outcomes to consumers. We will charge less, we will be transparent if that's what customers want, because the biggest challenge of all is getting people involved in their spending. At the moment, in their saving. That's the Freudian slip is not deliberate, but it's too true. It's easier to spend than it is to save, and somehow we and the rest of the players in this industry have to reverse that. People often ask whether there's a secret to the growth rate and how you achieve it. And I don't think there's a panacea. I don't think there's a universal answer. But I would say that there are a few key things you can do to really help drive your growth. First of all, though, you have to remember to measure your growth. You have to set up your data collection in a way that allows you to facilitate measuring all the metrics and doing so in a true way. Not just fake metrics, not just seeing how many people visit your site, but how many people convert end to end. That's the really important thing. So once we've got those data metrics set up, you've got to make sure that you balance the product and marketing spend and the priorities of product and marketing very, very carefully. So for example, do you spend that extra money on developing a mobile product, which makes it easier for your customers, or do you spend that extra money on advertising, which brings more people to your website? Both are important, but you have to learn to prioritize. So 2 quick points. One is get your data right and make sure you can measure things, and the second is try and balance your marketing and product spend to give you the best chance at converting customers. When you're thinking about starting a business, it's really important not just to tell your friends and family about the idea, and that's not because you're going to bore them silly, which you will do, but because they will be predisposed to saying that your idea is a good one because they like you, and in some cases they love you if it's your family. So the key to pitching a business plan is to ask people who you don't know and frame it as someone else's idea. Oh, I've been working with this friend, they had this idea, I'm not sure about it, can you give me some excuses as to why it might not work? Or, I've been thinking about something that someone told me, they've asked me to come and work on it with them, do you think it's a good idea? And allow people to express themselves freely. I'd say that's the biggest mistake that people make when they're thinking about their business ideas, is to get false positives from people who wouldn't otherwise give them any negative feedback. For Nutmeg, FinTech Connect is going to be something completely different. We're not going to be the startup. We're going to get to see companies that are younger and more exciting than us, and that's a really valuable thing. That we've been going for 4 years, and I bet you someone coming in here with a new emerging idea would say that we're stuffy and we're old and we're boring and we're not innovating at the speed that they can. And honestly, I know that's true. So I want to go around, I want to see hundreds of companies that are exciting, that are doing new things. I want to meet founders who have so much energy, they haven't been worn down like I have over the last couple of years. I want to see if they can help me and if I can help them in any way. And I'm really looking forward to a day just that's full of energy, full of new ideas, and it's going to be really exciting so I can bring some of those back to the Nutmeg office.